I'm a minister, have graduated top of my class. By all means, I'm a success.
Yeah.
We're on the road and we're going to Alabama to a birthday party for my husband's coworker. And I looked at my husband and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, what? I said, I'm over it. I said, I don't want to be saved.
Wow.
I said, I don't want to be saved. I said, the sinners are prospering. Everybody's getting what they're wanting. This life does not seem like it's worth it. I said, I don't want to do it. I said, I want to do what everybody else is doing.
Oof.
And my husband, the man that God gave me, that loves me so much,
Yeah.
he looked at me and he said, do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Woman at the Well. I am your host, Carla Compton. It is indeed my pleasure to have you stop by and check out my podcast. I really do greatly appreciate that. Now, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Go ahead and share it out to your family and your friends. I think it's going to be a blessing to them. Well, we're going to jump right into it today. I have a special guest in my studio. We're continuing our series talking to different women about their Woman at the Well, their journey or their experience. And so today it's not going to be any different. I have such a special guest in my studio that I'm completely excited about. And I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But family, help me welcome to my studio for the very first time, Cassandra Williams.
Good. Thank you so much
Thank you
for having me. I'm so excited. We finally got here.
Yeah, it has been a while. I forget that we scheduled this a long time ago. At least we tried to.
We did.
Yeah.
But one thing I know, God's timing is everything.
There it is. See, she already deep, y'all.
It's everything.
I love it. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But before you introduce yourself, I just want to tell you a little bit about Cassandra that I know. First of all, I didn't really know her as Cassandra. I knew her as Tiny, all right? And so she's a lot younger than me. And so we went to the church together. I was in ministry with her mom, and so she went to the same church, of course, as her mom. And again, she was Tiny at that time, but now she's Cassandra because she's all grown up and stuff. Does anybody still call you Tiny?
When I come home, absolutely.
Do you still receive it, or you say my name is how some people do that? Like that's not my name.
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna call her Cassandra because I've gotten used to Cassandra. But it's been such a pleasure to watch her grow up and to become the woman that she is. Seeing her as a little girl and now seeing her as a grown woman, like shaking stuff and building stuff and tearing down stuff and going into the enemy's camp and doing damage. She's a powerful woman of God, and I watch her become that. And I'm telling you, it's so humbling for me just to be in her presence. So thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I do want to give you a chance to introduce yourself. So just tell the people a little bit about you.
So I am Coach Williams, Cassandra Williams.
Yes.
In these social media streets, you'll hear me Coach Williams, and I am a life tactician. And what I do is I bridge biblical principles and just personal strategy, because so many times we try to build on scripture without a strategy. Mm-hmm. We are supposed to pray, absolutely, but God should be telling you something while you're praying.
Wow,
right?
That's good.
Once you get up, now what?
Right.
Once you come out of the prayer closet, now what? So as your life tactician, I help you bridge your biblical principles and your personal strategies together to build the life of your dreams.
Oh my God. Girl, I want to join.
Just build the life of your dreams, because, for so many years, I knew what the word said, but I didn't live it. I had a firm foundation of scripture, but it was not, I saw it as what other people could have, not what God had for me.
Gotcha.
And so now I get to bridge those two things together to help other women.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. We'll talk a little bit about that later on.
I can't wait.
But you know, sometimes we have the smile, we have the position, we have everything, but deep down we're still a pretty little mess.
Oh, a pretty little. Oh, okay.
A pretty little mess.
See, we about to get deep. Okay, but tell on a personal level though. Tell me about your family and all of that.
I'm married, wife of, in November will be 27 years.
Wow,
I will be married 27 years.
Congratulations.
I'm the mom of one. God blessed us through adoption. His name is Christian with Christian. And so I love spending time with them. Those are my guys. And yes, I do answer to Tiny when I come home because I'm home. And if I'm anywhere else and somebody calls me that, I know that they're from home.
Yeah.
Because most people know Cassandra from college and everywhere else. But if you know me as Tiny, you know me.
Oh, yeah. Because when I was telling people that I was going to have you on, I'm Cassandra William. Tiny. You know? I was telling my husband too, like Cassandra, the other Cassandra, was like, no. You know, having to explain to him that. But I am so glad to have you here, and I can't wait for us to get really, really deep.
Yes.
But I want to go a little bit deeper so that we can start understanding who you are, or what made you who you are today.
Okay.
And so tell us a little bit about your childhood and how that was growing up.
So growing up, I was born to, and I love to start with, I was born to a teenage mom when it wasn't cool.
Right.
To be a teenage mom.
Wow.
And I look at her now as her strength to, in 1974, to be able to bring a baby into this world when it wasn't a badge of honor.
Right, I remember.
And so, you know, for us to, you know, kind of grow up together, and for my grandmother to tell her, hey, you're going to still go to school. You're still going to do this. So I saw her not quit. I saw all of that. But for me, I've always been a fighter.
Yeah.
But what most people don't know was I was a sad little girl. Aww. There was a sad little girl in there that was carrying the weight of the world that didn't belong to her.
Wow. That's deep.
Carrying the weight of the world that didn't belong to her. Because a lot of times we move on in life. We grow up. We go through all of the things and we just kind of push it down, get over it.
Yeah. A lot. We do that a lot.
You know, we sweep it under the rug. Well, guess what? You eventually start tripping over all that stuff that you swept under the rug.
That's so true.
And all the things that are in the closet start falling out. So for me, I was an overachiever. When people go through things, or, you know, you see things in life, you know, you're like, some people go to alcohol, some people go to drugs. I went to my books.
Wow.
I was an overachiever. I wanted to be the best. I had made up in my mind I was going to be somebody.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I did what I needed to do. And I did it. But what people didn't know was, like, deep down, like I said before, all of those scriptures, I sit in there and I was listening to them talk about this loving Father, this God that loves you. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Does he really? So really? So you saw that. You were there.
Whoa.
You're omniscient. You're all of these things. And you didn't stop it.
Wow.
But as I grew up and I got older, on this side. Okay, so I'm going to go back and forth. On this side, I understand.
Yeah.
He was there the whole time. He walked me through it.
The whole time.
So that now I can go back.
Yeah.
And I can help another little girl.
Yes.
I can help another woman that's in that place to say, absolutely, that's why you didn't lose your mind.
Woo.
Absolutely, that's why you didn't break down. That's why you're not in a padded room somewhere drooling.
Yeah.
It's because God was right there.
Wow. So what was your exposure to church then?
I ain't chat. Early on, I was in church. Okay.
Okay.
So in church. So ain't chat, Charity Little, bless her.
Do you know that's my grandma?
Soul. Really?
That's my grandmother.
Really? She's your aunt? She's my aunt, and she used to take me. She would come get me.
We cousins?
We are. Yeah, she would come get me and take me to church with her, me and Erica Woods. Yeah. She would come get us, and she would take us to church and stuff with her. And then my aunt, Patricia Woody, they were going to Faith Free.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up there. Was I was a little girl, and I was like, I want to go to church with them. My mom wasn't in church at that time, so it was I want to go to church with them. And so every Saturday I would cry to go to their house so I could go to church.
Wow.
Or I would like, I want to go to church. And so my mom would get me dressed and they would come by and pick me up. And so that's how she got back into church. Is that she would call, one day I looked at her and I said, well, why don't you go with me? Why don't you go with us? Oh my
goodness.
And she was like, what are they doing to my baby? Because it was like, I was like all in, right?
Yeah.
And so I went she came to the church, and she tells her testimony as well, that's how she got back into the church.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, when she started getting back into the church and telling her testimony, a teenager, by then I was a teenager.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she's telling her testimony to free somebody else. But I'm walking around with the guilt and shame.
Oh my goodness.
So every time she tell it, I would flinch a little bit, or I'd be like, was I wanted? I would have all of these questions.
I can imagine that, yeah.
And so, we grew up in a time where you didn't ask questions then.
Right.
I guess that's why I have so many now. But anyway, I had them then, but we didn't ask them.
Right.
So I kind of became a chameleon.
Gotcha.
And I became what people needed me to be. To make everybody happy. Because if everybody's happy, I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. So that was my foundation of knowing who God was. That I had a God consciousness. I knew who he was. Mm-hmm. I knew what church was.
Okay.
Then I went to college and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not doing that church thing no more.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to go when I want to go. I'm not going to church every Sunday. We was in church every Sunday. Every Sunday, every Wednesday. Then we had choir rehearsal. We had all the things.
Was it then that we're going, it's 2 times on Sunday?
Yes. And we had 2 times on Sunday. And it was like, and if you did, you were going to either or. Right. The older we got, we could go either or.
Okay.
But it was that, that was my foundation. So when I got to college, I was like, I'm not going.
Wow.
And so my whole first quarter into my second quarter, I was like, I'm just gone. I ain't got to go. Ain't nobody here to make me go.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a guy that would ask us all the time. He was like, I'm like, no, we're going to breakfast. He was like, well, this bus is going to be here every Sunday to take y'all to church. Man, you can have that.
Wow. So what made you become so cold toward God or toward church at that time? Was it just because of your mom's testimonies that made you feel like that you were like unwanted, or?
No, I just carried that with me. It was just once I got out, I was like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something else.
I can understand that.
Right?
Gotcha.
Because it was like, at that time, it was, I didn't understand he is truly the air that I breathe.
Yeah.
I didn't understand from my life, because some people can still do stuff like that. For me, no, that's not. My relationship with him is like air, like eating, like water. I have to have it.
Oof, Jesus.
And so, we grew up in it. We saw it. That's all we knew.
Yeah.
So now nobody's making us do it.
Right. I can understand.
So it's like, we'll live a little bit. Oh, but by probably spring, I was like, hey, I'm going to get on that bus. We got to go.
It didn't take long. The rebellion didn't take too long.
No, I was like, I'm good. I'm over it. It's
wow.
It's done.
Because it's in you. I love that seed was planted in you.
Yeah.
So it was just there. It's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
So I did it. I was getting my testimony, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first real encounter with God.
Yeah.
To now he was no longer my mom's God, Mother Horn's God, Mother Knuckles' God, my grandmother, Aunt Jack's God. He became my God.
Yeah. Oh wow.
At Fort Valley. And he had an amazing ministry set up there that could meet us where we were as college students.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah, that it wasn't so deep that he didn't understand that we were in college students. They met us where we were and cultivated that relationship, with God.
Okay.
And, and so it was like, Because it was like, that's all we knew. And it was almost like you were a goody goody.
Right.
You know?
I can understand that.
And so
you want to break out and be free,
yeah,
try something different, see
Yeah.
what else is out there, kind of.
Yeah. And so, went through life, married my husband, all of that, reconciled with my dad, just got to a really, really, really good place with me. And I still went through that season.
Wow.
Where God, where he said in the Bible, it says, and God led him into the wilderness. That Jesus got after he had fasted 40 days.
Right.
The devil took him led him into the wilderness to be tested and tried.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be my true woman at the well experience. We were riding to, because I guess, let me just say this. For someone who feels like they've done too much, that God can't love them. I was riding I'm a minister, have graduated top of my class. By all means, I'm a success.
Yeah.
We're on the road and we're going to Alabama to a birthday party for my husband's coworker. And I looked at my husband and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, what? I said, I'm over it. I said, I don't want to be saved.
Wow.
I said, I don't want to be saved. I said, the sinners are prospering. Everybody's getting what they're wanting. This life does not seem like it's worth it. I said, I don't want to do it. I said, I want to do what everybody else is doing.
Oof.
And my husband... the man that God gave me that loves me so much.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, do it.
Oh, okay.
I said, oh, okay. He was like, do it. And I was like, God, I didn't hear anything. He didn't say anything. I was like, fine. And I think that lasted for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, I was still trying to be like, oh my God, I can't believe. Yeah. But that moment, that period of time, that taught me what it felt like to be a prodigal daughter. Oof. That taught me the agape love of God. The God that foundation. I knew the foundation. I knew the Bible. I knew the word. Have you ever been in, so let me ask you this. Okay. I'm a coach. So
okay, right.
Have you ever been in a place where you desired something so much, it was all around you, but it wasn't in you?
Yes, I have.
So that type of love had been around me all my life, but it wasn't in me.
Jesus.
I couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
I'm like, they supposed to. I didn't feel chosen. Even though I was chosen from the very foundation of the earth, I didn't feel, I was like, I want somebody to choose me. Not realizing God had already chose me.
Oh, that's powerful.
And so, my husband gave me the pass. He was like, let's go. Let's live. Yeah. Now I be like, babe, he's like, we gonna keep you under the altar.
Right.
Nope. You can't, because that was when I understood who God was in my life. Yeah. That he's not an option. For me. It's not an option if I'm going to serve him. It's a necessity.
That part, a necessity.
He is a necessity, like air. Like if the air came out of this room, I wouldn't be able to breathe. Without him, I can't breathe.
Right.
And it became that serious for me that's the point where I began to see for myself, you can't make me doubt him. Ooh. You can't make me doubt him.
Yes.
And Amen. So, but a lot of times we are living off of somebody else's prayers, somebody else's testimony, somebody else's story. Right. But everything that I walked through gave me my own story.
That's it. Yeah.
And it all led me to where I am today. So I don't have regrets about it. I can't say, oh my God, I regret that season. Oh my God, if that had not have happened. Yeah. If I had not been born to that teenage mom, If I had not married that man, if I had not went to Fort Valley, if I had not graduated on time, if I had not had those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today. So,
Absolutely.
So I don't regret it.
Yeah.
But it taught me the agape love of God. And because he gave that to me, how dare I not give it to everybody else?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And you mentioned that you had a lot of different seasons, a lot of things that you've gone through. But that's the thing that you can kind of pinpoint. That was your woman at the well experience, where you were kind of running and didn't feel like you was worthy, or God wasn't, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you were able to like wake up and understand, oh my God, he's there and he's been there the whole time.
The whole time.
But talk about some of those other seasons, because I know sometimes we as Christians think that when we it's a one and done. Like we get it right that first time and life is beautiful. There's no more challenges. There's no more doubting God. There's none of that. But talk to us about those times.
Listen, no, it's not a one and done. It's a continuous.
Yes.
When we, because I got baptized at 8, okay? Baptized at 8. So had my teenage experience. I don't want to be in church. When we got to be around 13, 14, and they would speak into us. They were like, you're beautiful, you're this. And I'm like, we was a mess. No, we were not. I said, oh, y'all really spoke those things that are not as though they are. You know. But now we're literally living out those words that were spoken.
That's true.
But it's like, in those times, like being in relationships that, because I'm the type, I was in relationships because I was bored. I ain't had nothing better to do. So that's why God keeps me busy. Yeah. But being bored and just being like, okay, it's a good idea, and getting into a relationship with people that I knew were not for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, doing things like that, like telling my husband, I don't want to be saved anymore. Understanding during that season as well in college that, listen, everybody's not for you.
Yeah.
That some people are on assignment from hell.
For sure.
And that's what they get up to do every single day, and they don't take any days off.
Amen. So true.
And so it was like, what did I do to you? You know?
Wow.
And it was like, no.
Yeah.
And it's like, they were like, nothing. And I'm like, so you just woke up wanting to attack me. Okay, That's what we're doing today. Okay. You know.
Yeah.
But just getting involved with the wrong people, because I was looking for going into ministry, and that was a God-led thing. But for me, it was putting my faith in man over God, because I wanted to be validated. I wanted to be approved. I wanted to be affirmed.
Gotcha.
And so in doing that, I fell prey to some people, but God covered me.
Wow. Jesus. But
the soul tie to get out of that bondage from those seasons, it was crazy.
So can you just go just a little bit deeper to explain to people exactly what you mean by you put your faith more in the man than in God?
So in me searching for, remember I said love was around me, but it wasn't in me.
Right.
So where I didn't really like myself, or I didn't feel loved by specific people. Yeah. When I got into ministry and things like that, people saw that. And so they would come and they would say, ooh, I need you. Thank you so much. Oh my God, goodness. You're amazing. And they would applaud, and I would give everything.
Wow.
That I had. Because I'm a all or nothing. So if I'm going to do something for you, I'm going to do it 100%.
Yeah.
But I did not understand their motives at that time. I didn't understand what they were doing on the back end.
Yeah.
And so by the time God took the scales off my eyes, I'm knee deep in it. It was training. He still uses it.
Yeah.
When he says in his word that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and they're called according to his purpose, Amen. He means that. But those were seasons that I walked through that I understood how people could manipulate, how certain things in our life has a scent.
Whoa. What do you mean by that?
Abandonment has a scent.
Got it. Okay.
Rejection has a scent.
Come on.
Promiscuity has a scent. So if these things are in your life, there's a scent going out, and certain people are going to be attracted to it because now they know how to manipulate you.
What? That's so good.
And so now they say all the things that you need them to say, that you need to hear, and you are like putty in their hands.
Oh.
Until then one day you wake up and like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
How did I get here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some people done got into marriages because of that.
Come on. Oh.
It's not just in the church.
That's good.
It's relationships, period.
That's true.
Because if you don't know yourself.
Oh my God.
Sometimes people can identify what's in you before you do.
Come on.
And so that scent is going out. And if you don't know who you are,
Jesus,
you become whatever they call you. And so they begin to use your gifts and your talents for their benefit.
Wait a minute. You said you become whatever they call you.
Yeah. Wow. When you don't know who you are,
oh my
you
goodness,
become what they call you. Most of the deliverance and things that we are going through in our life, even if you have position, because here's the thing, some people that are in positions are the most insecure people that you will ever meet.
Oh my God, I can understand that now. Yeah,
they have all of these positions. You see their accolades. You think they're okay. But deep down, there's a little girl crying out for somebody to hear me, to see me, to accept me, to validate me.
Wow.
And men are the same. And so if you have a predator that sees that little girl, he's going to speak to her to try to make her feel safe for the moment in order to get the benefits of the woman.
Whoa. Oh my God, what? You see this all the time, though. You see it all the time, and then you wonder why we see so many people that do fall. Because there was a buildup. There was something that was there, for a long time. It was a buildup.
Yep.
Wow.
Because so many women, men too, because some women are trifling.
Right. Come on.
But oftentimes we beat ourselves up like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
There's always something they tapped into.
Come on.
Always. It's a deeper root other than, I was just dumb. No, you weren't.
Aww.
You might have been wounded. You might not have been healed yet.
Yeah.
There might be a little girl in a corner somewhere that you haven't even realized. I remember walking through my house one day, and I was just walking through the house, and I felt like something in my heart opened. And I was like, and it was almost like a flutter, but literally I heard a door.
Jesus.
And I was like, what was that? And God said, now your heart's completely open.
Wow.
I had been married and living my life on 80% of my heart being opened. Nobody got in there, not even God.
Wow.
And so when that opened, it was like, wait a minute. And I began to feel in a way I had never felt before.
Before you had that feeling or that experience, did you always feel like there was something that was missing?
Yes.
You did feel that.
I always felt there was something missing. My love was conditional.
Okay.
There was so far I would go and I'd be like, no. Once I got to that 80 and it didn't look right, I would back up. So I would still love, but it was love with conditions, love with limits. It wasn't all in being vulnerable. There was certain things that I would keep. I was like, nah, we gonna tuck that away. You better not tell nobody but God, right?
Yeah. So did this happen even more after you felt like you were being used or manipulated by the leadership?
It was after I got out of that, because once I left the ministry, God allowed me to leave the ministry, and I was like, I cried.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like oh my God. It was like somebody had died.
Because your soul was attached to that.
My soul was attached to that. And I was like, what is that? And God sent me to the bookstore, and I found a book, and it was called Authority Abusers. And I began to it was by George Bloomer. And I began to read that book, and I was like, oh my God. Because I thought, coming from a small town, I thought all leaders, all people were good.
Yeah. Oof.
We don't go through that in a church. What are you talking about? And so I was like,
Oof.
are you serious?
Yeah.
This is what's going on in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And so once I got out of that, then that was a journey to find balance. Because now I was all in, so now I'm all out. I don't trust nobody again.
Got it.
Now I have trust issues in the church.
Yeah.
And so God had to take me on a journey to teach me balance.
Gotcha.
Try the spirit by the spirit. Understand that when God is connecting you with people, He's connecting you, but that doesn't mean that you give them full access over God.
That's so good. That's so good.
You know,
That's so good.
Yeah, you don't give them full access
Yeah.
over God. And so I learned to be, you know, that's why people say, sometimes they're like, you're a disruptor. I am. I do.
She is. Can't y'all tell?
I disrupt systems and things like that. But I walk through certain things. God allowed me to walk through certain things. So now when I see it, I can help other people. I can walk into a room and I can tell you who's hiding. I can tell you who your runners are. And then most of them are not on the back row. Because, you know, they used the old saying used to be, you know, you done moved all the way to the back. Well, see, if they done got that far, they probably on their way out the door.
Oh, wow.
But what about that person that's hiding, that's on the front row?
Jesus.
I can identify those people because I would show up, but I was a runner. At the first sign of trouble, I was out. I was like, nah, we good. We don't have to go through that.
Wow.
But guess what? Sometimes we do.
That's true.
We have to go through it for our making, for our breaking.
That is so true.
For the oil to truly be able to flow.
And that's what I can say. And I know this is all about you today, but
you're good.
But because I was just thinking all the things that I've gone through, the things that I've experienced, and me coming from a small town and all of that. And so you do put on this face, you know, everybody's just happy, everything's just great, everything's just wonderful. And then when I found myself in situations where this ain't right, this ain't good, you know, when I went through my depression and when I was just so much going through a divorce, just all of that, it brought so much shame upon me. I felt like I felt so much shame.
Yeah.
I felt so much shame, like I disappointed God, I disappointed so many people that looked up to me. It was just a lot of things that I was battling.
Yeah.
And which is why I have the woman at the well, because I can identify with her so much. But it made me who I am. I walked in shame for years. You hear me? Even when I was up ministering or doing different things, I still had this shame and this guilt. And I felt like I needed to pretend, and that's what was gonna make everybody happy. Everybody want that happy, good story and everything to look right.
The performance of it
They
all.
want the performance, and I couldn't no longer do that.
Yep.
You know, but it made me who I am today. So I just said, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But what you're saying is just so strong. It just resonates with my heart because truly the nastiest things that I've had to go through. I'm so glad that I did. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm glad that I did because it made me who I am, and my eyes have been open. So continue.
Yeah. The opening of, like you said, the opening of the eyes of to be able to see, to stop minimizing God.
Yes.
Because we say he's a big God, right? So a lot of times you hear me talk about what we say he is, but is he really that to us?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Because we can say the scripture.
Yeah.
The scripture I used to love and still do now. Because I take the front part off. But John 10:10, the front part says, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's the part I used to focus on. He said,
okay.
But
You're right.
I came that you might have life and that you
Yeah.
might have it more abundantly.
Yeah.
To the full till it overflows. He
Jesus.
had me look up what abundantly meant.
Come on.
And it means to the full till it overflows. And so now I don't focus on he comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
That's good right
I
there.
focus on
That's good.
the promise that I came. And so I had to come into agreement with that and say, I want that.
That's good.
And coming from a small town, you saw certain things, and God said, but what if I have more than that for you? Do you want that too?
Come on.
And I was like, oh, I do want that.
Yeah.
One time he told me we were sitting in a restaurant, and he said, "You're missing it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "What your parents have is not your ceiling, that's your floor."
Oh, wow.
I said, "What?" He said, "What your parents have, you have been trying to build their life and be okay in that."
My God.
He said, "That's your floor.
My God. Yes.
You're supposed to have more than them. You're supposed to go further than they ever went. You're supposed to be the legacy, the next generation. You're supposed to do all of that." So we were talking about them being my floor, not my ceiling. And it doesn't mean you're stepping on them. It just means Jesus said, "Greater works shall you do."
Oh, that's good. That's
so
good.
even ministry wise, sometimes we feel like you said, you felt shame, you felt guilt, all of that. I had to learn how to exchange that guilt and shame for grace and mercy.
Yeah.
And so in that and also I had to learn that I was doing the earlier generations a disservice by not being all that God had called me to be.
Oh, that's
because
good.
sometimes we feel like, oh, if we do more, if we move, if we leave, if we get this, that we're not, almost like we don't appreciate what the earlier generations did
so
for
good.
us.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
So if we move out of, so I was from Beaufort.
Goodness.
I lived in Beaufort.
Right.
So if I moved out of Beaufort, it was like, oh my God, I'm leaving my roots. No, I was supposed to leave.
That's crazy. But a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. And when I left, he was like, "No, you're not going back. I go back in, do what I'm supposed to do, and then I come back out and go where I need to go." Right. But for a long time, it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna move back home," and God was like, "No." That's not.
That's so funny.
No, that's not what you're doing. Because sometimes we don't understand. We can be more effective on the outside of a situation than we can on the inside of it.
Yes.
Because the inside of it looks very different.
Yes.
And
that's so true.
So I had to learn and be open to the fullness of all that God had and not minimize it to what I thought it could be, compartmentalize it, or to put it in a box that made me comfortable.
Wow. Yes.
And so I had to allow him to enlarge himself inside of me. And that's a journey. That's not.
Oh my goodness.
That's not something that you just do.
Because I know your mom, and I know she's wonderful. She's great. She's a great support. So how does she feel during that time when you were kind of pushing away? Because I know that parents, even my kids, I'm like, y'all stay around me. You know, that's not good. But so how was that? How did she receive that?
She respected it. And I think she's seen a lot of it. So there were some seasons she didn't understand.
Right.
But now she's like, now I understand it. Now I get why you had to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Now I understand why you had to be away for a while. Because there was, when I hit Gwinnett County, I was a completely different person.
Wow.
Because this is what I had always been to my family, in my family, and for my family.
Wow. Okay.
And so I didn't see it until I was away for a while.
That's crazy.
And then I came and I was leaving and I was like, what happened?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And my husband was like, you do that all the time.
So he recognized, he knew
he was
that.
Like, yeah, he was like, when you're around your family, you're one way. And I was like, oh my goodness. And that in that season, God was like, no, I'm bringing all your pieces together. I was a chameleon.
Man. Wow.
So when I came home, I was this way. When I was with my husband, I was this way. When I went to work, I was this way. When I was in ministry, a ministry assignment, I was this way. And so I was all these different people to all the, in all these different places. Ooh. And God said, you're going to bring I need all your pieces to come together. And just be.
And
I was like, be what? Tell me what to be so I can be that. Be a butterfly. Okay, I know what a butterfly does. Be a dog. Okay, you know what a dog does.
Right.
He was like, no, I just need you to be you. And I didn't know who
your
she
authentic
was.
self. Yeah.
I didn't know who she was.
Oh. What was that journey like, discovering who?
Oh my God. Everybody was crazy during that journey because my husband was looking at me. He's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I had to tell him, "I don't know." He said, "What do you need?" I don't know. But I had enough wisdom in that time to tell him. I said, "I don't know, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know."
Wow. Wow.
Sometimes we have to understand we don't know.
Yeah.
That's the honest response, because a lot of times we create more havoc in our lives because we're telling people we need something that's not the real issue.
Oh, that's good.
So
that's good.
say you're married, okay? I'm married. So I'm fussing at my husband about the dishes in the sink. I'm fussing at my son about something that's been laying on the floor. I'm fussing about all of these things.
Yeah.
But what is it that I'm really
What's the
crying
real
out
issue?
for?
Yeah.
Because even if they pick it up, I'm going to find something else to nitpick about.
Come on.
Because what I'm really desiring is see me, hear me. I need time with you. But what I'm fussing about is stuff.
Ooh, that's good.
And so I had to learn at the core, what was those things that I needed? Minimum.
Yeah.
Everything else is cherry on top.
Right.
At the very core, my minimum, what is it that I need from those around me? And I had to be able to communicate that clearly and concise.
Whew. And you were able to do that at some point?
Yes, I can do that. But that was the journey, was to get to that point, to be able to tell my husband, if I start acting crazy or looking or just getting testy, because I'll get to the point, I carry well, okay? Let me just say that. Somebody needs to hear this. I learned to carry well, meaning I can carry a lot of weight. I can carry a lot of things. I can put on a good face and not crack. By the time I'm cracking and people know something is wrong, it's real bad.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So I've learned to carry well. And most of the time I didn't crack. I cracked in private. So it was never public.
Oof.
So most of the time people didn't know I was even going through stuff till after it was done. So I had to learn to tell my husband, if you see these certain behaviors, just walk up to me, wrap your arms around me, and hold me.
Jesus.
And make me feel safe. Because right now, I don't feel safe. When you start seeing this, and this, I don't feel safe. If the house looks like it's a tornado went through it, my brain feels like a tornado has went through it.
Ooh, that's good.
So he knows when he comes home and stuff is kind of everywhere, he's like, "You okay?" And even if I say yes, he's like, "Okay, she's not okay." And he'll grab me and he'll just hold me. And normally it'll take about 2 or 3 minutes sometimes. And I'll go.
It's beautiful.
And when I do that, he say, "Now, are you okay?"
Wow.
And once that breath comes out, now is normally I'm vulnerable. The wall has come down.
Yeah.
And now I can tell him, "Hey, this is what I need." Our son the same way. I'll be like, "Okay, sometimes I have to be wait." And he'll be like, and I'll be like, "Look, this is what I need from you." Because if I do it at the wrong time, I'm going to go through everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So learning who I am.
Yeah.
The authentic version of me.
Right.
And allowing her to show up. Allows other people to show up as themselves as well. So my husband could be like, so now I wasn't asking him to do what only God could do.
Yeah.
I wasn't asking him to do what Holy Spirit is supposed to do for me. I allow him to be my husband, my friend, and he can do what he can do.
Yes. I love that.
And then I can do what I'm supposed to do for myself.
Oh, come on. Come on. Girl, that'll preach right there.
Because so many times we're asking people to do things.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do it for yourself. Because it didn't matter how much during that season where I did not feel, I did not have love for myself and didn't understand what love was looking like from me to me, my husband was like, I don't even want to try.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not even going to try. Because
Wow.
it's not good enough. Nothing was good enough.
Got it.
Because it wasn't his place.
Oof.
And so around 40, I'm 51 now. Around 40, I began that journey of learning who I was.
Wow.
Not that I was bad, but a lot of things was built up from that little girl that was crying for her father's love. It was built up from seeing things and nobody ever talked about it. So you saw it and y'all left it to my imagination.
Right.
So hearing my mom give her testimony, but not having the answers. So this child mine was making up all of these stories that were not true.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And so all that had to be broken down.
So
And
you
we
were
tore
still
down.
battling that even in your 40s. At
Yep.
40, you were still.
Yep.
And so you had gotten saved.
I was saved.
And how
by
long
Holy
have you been
Ghost
saved? You got
filled.
saved at what age?
I got baptized at 8. Came back to God again around 20, about 19.
Yeah.
And then, but that episode around my 40s, that well experience
Yeah.
with God, that's when
Ooh,
all
Father.
of that stuff all that stuff, because I was still carrying all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get across to the people.
Yeah.
Even though you've been saved for a long time, there's still some things that need to be pulled down, broken off of you.
Yeah.
A lot of things you still have to go through. So it's always a process.
Yeah,
Right?
we get saved.
Yeah.
Salvation is free. It is. When you give God, you tell God, come into your heart. But this journey
Come on.
of salvation, this journey of holiness, of living
Yeah.
right for Him,
Yeah.
and it's not your clothes.
Yeah.
It's not your
Come
clothes.
on, it's not your clothes.
But it's really understanding who you are and who God created you to be. That's a lifetime.
That's good. So good.
Because
So
most of
good.
us lived what people called us. Most of us had to live. Like, I still answer, but a couple of years ago, God told me, He said, stop saying your little business. He said, and even that nickname, He said, look at what they called you, but look at what I'm calling you.
Yes. So
Because you were preemie, when you were born, they called you tiny.
Okay, that's where it came from. Okay.
Yeah. He said, but look at the impact. There's nothing tiny about it.
Wow. Now that's good.
He said, tiny has this connotation. He said, Cassandra means prophet,
Wow.
helper of mankind.
My God.
He said, so every time
Jesus.
somebody calls you by your real name, they've always been calling you who you were meant to be.
Come on.
And so,
That's good.
and I was like, oh, because I was like, I don't want to do that. I did not run it. Even though I had that foundation of being young, understanding ministry,
Yeah.
knowing that I could do it,
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Got it.
Didn't want to. I had seen my mom in ministry. I had seen other people in
Yeah,
ministry.
not pretty.
I was like, even as a child, feeling, just understanding the call
Yeah.
and holding people accountable.
Yes.
Like, no, you're not going to act like that if you call yourself this.
Right.
Like, that don't even,
Right.
this behavior does not coincide with that call.
Exactly.
And so when God was like, yeah, I was like, no, no, let's not say we did.
Oh,
Let's not. No, I don't. And so
you're so funny.
I ran.
Wow.
I ran. And He put me around a lot of ministers, and He allowed me to see their humanity. He allowed me to see their anointing, and then He allowed me to see their humanity. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not that bad. Now, listen, jeez.
Right.
I said, okay, not that bad.
Right.
So He took the baby. He was like, I'll take it. You stop saying no. And so here we are. And I love it. I love what I get to do. It's not easy, but I love what I get to do. And a lot of times I get to expose people to a different level of God's love
Yeah.
here on earth.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
beautiful.
times is when I get to the great by and by, when I get to heaven.
Yeah.
No, there's some things I need to have
Right,
it here
heaven
on
now.
earth. And we can.
Yes.
We can. Sometimes we spend so much time talking about, and not to say we shouldn't,
Right.
but I know for me, I was so focused on heaven that I was missing life on earth.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
And so to be able to
Oof,
balance
Jesus.
that and bring it into, yes, I know I got a home over there. But there's some things he want me to have here.
Absolutely.